Today we are watching a thrilling horror film called Night of the Hunted. Welcome to Flashback Recap. Hit subscribe and let's dive right in. The film opens with a scene in a motel where Alice, a 30-year-old woman, receives a call from her husband Eric and rushes into the bathroom. It's 2 a.m. Eric greets her warmly and reminds her of their appointment with a fertility doctor that day. We learn that Alice is a social media manager at a pharmaceutical company and is currently returning home after attending an important convention. However, unbeknownst to Eric, Alice is having an affair with her colleague and best friend John. In the next scene, Alice and John check out of the motel and resume their journey. John then notices that the fuel is almost gone. He pulls over at a nearby gas station to resolve the issue. While he refuels, Alice goes inside the store to grab a cup of coffee. Inside the store, Alice heads to the counter to make a payment, but no one seems to be around, so she leaves the money on the counter. Just then, she notices something horrific, blood splattered on the walls. As she reaches for the door to leave, an unknown assailant shoots her in the arm. Following this, a barrage of bullets is fired in her direction. Alice manages to crawl to safety, but her pleas for help go unheard. It turns out John is listening to loud music inside his car. Now she is in a precarious position, cornered by an unknown assailant with her only friend completely unaware outside. Alice decides to reach for her phone, but just as she is about to grab it, the sniper destroys it with a single shot. Suddenly she hears a voice coming from somewhere. Checking around, she notices a walkie-talkie on a nearby desk. She throws a few packets of chips in the air, and when the sniper shoots at them, she hurries to get the walkie-talkie. Meanwhile, John notices that the fuel is again running low. Since Alice has not returned for a long while, he goes inside the store to check on her. Unfortunately, as soon as he spots her, he is shot in the neck. John falls to the floor and pleads with Alice for help, but the sniper shoots him again. Alice then tells the man her name and describes the dire situation in the mini-market. Hearing this, the man immediately calls the police for help. However, he suddenly lets out a maniacal laugh, revealing that he was the one who killed John. Alice grabs objects and starts hurling them toward the switchboard, but it doesn't work. At that point, she notices the shelf behind which she is hiding has wheels. Alice slowly moves the shelf and dodges the barrage of bullets fired at her. Moments later, Alice tries to contact another person on the radio, but the call keeps connecting to the sniper. The sniper says that no one else is there besides himself, Alice, and his wife Amelia. Here, Alice finally discovers that Amelia is dead. After a while, Alice sees a vehicle arrive at the gas station, and a guy named Doug steps out of the car. She deduces that he is the same guy Amelia had been having an affair with. Alice tells him to call the police, but unfortunately, Doug left his phone in his car. Alice explains that his girlfriend has already been killed by her husband, but a shocked Doug claims the killer is lying. Amelia was never married. It dawns on Alice that ever since Doug arrived inside the store, the sniper has been silent. This makes her suspicious that Doug is actually the killer, but the guy insists that it's really not him. Since time is running out and the sniper has been silent, Alice requests that Doug go to his car and get his phone to prove he's not the sniper. Unfortunately, as soon as he reaches his car and tries to grab his phone, he is shot and killed. This means that he was telling the truth all along. The sniper was not him. The real sniper returns to talk on the radio and accuses her of being a murderer. He is disgusted by how she makes drugs that affect the lives of so many people. Alice claims that her company manufactures medications and she is just a social media manager. But the sniper claims that it is even worse. She is the one who distributes the drugs by lying that they are good. As he continues ranting on the radio about someone who could be him, Alice notices a lot of umbrellas next to the counter and decides to do something with them. As the sniper keeps talking, Alice lines up some umbrellas, but as soon as he notices what she is doing, he fires multiple shots at the gas station. Luckily, Alice somehow reaches the exit door. Alice then decides to look for items to break the padlock and tries to break it open, but to no avail. Moments later, she sees a random guy arrive at the station to fill up some gas. When his credit card doesn't work, he soon departs. The sniper doesn't shoot at him. Alice becomes emotional and tries to convince the sniper to let her go. At that moment, she spots a police car speeding toward the gas station, but sadly, it quickly drives by without stopping. Alice uses the diversion to leave the store and approach John's car quietly. When she tries to enter John's car, the sniper shoots at her, leaving Alice with no choice but to retreat back to the store. In the process, she gets shot once again, this time in her thigh. Alice writhes in pain, slowly losing consciousness, but she later manages to apply first aid to her wound, stopping the bleeding temporarily. She then grabs a hacksaw and tries to cut open the padlock. Frustrated, she grabs the radio and says it's gonna take a lot more than killing her to solve his problems. Moments later, another car pulls up at the station. An old man comes out to refuel his car, but unfortunately sees Doug's corpse and freaks out. This alerts the sniper, and he immediately shoots the man. To make matters worse, the man's wife also comes out. While Alice desperately tries to signal her to hide, the sniper shoots the old lady as well. But right then, she notices a little girl named Cindy in the car. After witnessing her grandparents being brutally killed, she is too scared to run away. Alice immediately talks to the killer and requests that he spare the child. He then asks Alice if she would give up her life for Cindy. Alice confidently says yes, and the sniper gives her 2 minutes to make the child go away. She tells the child to run to the road. The little girl instead runs inside the store, too afraid to venture out in the dark. After a while, Alice manages to cut open the padlock, but she is devastated to learn that there is another shutter behind it, which is locked. Now she has no choice but to face the monster herself. She quickly hides Cindy, grabs whatever weapon she can, and braces herself for a fight. Soon, the sniper arrives at the store and enters, starting to look around. As he reaches a corner, Alice suddenly jumps him from behind and impales a rod in his back. But this is still not enough to bring the sniper down. He hits Alice, and the two begin to struggle when Alice tries to take off his mask. Meanwhile, as Cindy watches the fight unfold from a corner, a gunshot is heard, and Alice falls to the ground, seemingly dead. The killer now approaches the little girl's hideout and finds her. He tries to remove his mask, but just then, Alice arrives out of nowhere. She uses the last of her strength to hit him with a fire extinguisher. She drags him to the hydraulic press and places him there, trying to figure out who is behind the mask. But before she can see who he is, the machine gruesomely crushes his skull, finally bringing the whole drama to an end. The only problem is that Alice will never find out who the killer was. His motives remain unknown, which is the biggest mystery in this movie. Alice eventually loses all of her energy, lies on the ground, and slowly breathes her last. She passes away, with Cindy witnessing all of these terrible events. In the final scene, the little girl comes out of the store and starts walking down the road. The morning sun has arrived, and the little girl is lucky to be the only survivor of the brutal incident.